Hello, dear students and my dear friends. Myself, Dr. Savita is Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Government First Aid College, Kamalapur. Welcome to my channel. In my today's video, we shall discuss that's a roadmap towards the article writing. This video is very useful to the post PG students and the researchers who have entered very newly. For them, it's a very the important tips they can understand through this video. Okay. The contents of the article. To write a very effective and a good article, we need following important contents. The content should be that is the title, the abstract, review of literature, objectives of the research, methodology and data, research analysis, results, findings, and discussions, recommendations or suggestions, references or citations. These are the important contents. The, the very good article should include all these important contents. Okay. Now let us see one by one. The title is very important. When the researcher will select the title, how it should be means, first of all, it should be very simple and accurate, attractive. It should reflect the objective of the research paper. Means here, the whatever may be the researcher, he wants to give a message through his article. The message should be the person has to see in the title. It should include in the title. That is what. That's why you can say that the how the title should be. It should be very simple. Means the whoever may will see it, they have to understand, and it should be accurate. Means related to the objectives should reflect that the title. Then it should be very attractive, and it should not be too lengthy or too short. This is what the how the title should be selected by the researcher. Okay, next. After the title, next will be the abstract. How the main gist of the research article is the abstract. How it should be. The abstract include major findings in a style that a general readership can read and understand. That is here the researcher should try to avoid the detailed experimental procedures and the data. Keep it short and effective. And the abstract should be very simple and informative to give the information, the gist of the article. Then the next very important step in the abstract is what that's the keywords. Researcher primary keywords should be the main focus of the entire article. So the title and ensuing content should reflect it. This is the way the abstract should be written. Okay. Then introduction here. How the research paper should start with the introduction. That is the first section, that is introduction. The first section where the researcher will start, that should be that's the start the section with general background of the topic. Means whatever the topic selected by the research, the background behind the that should be explained in detail. Okay. The next will be the add 2-3 paragraphs that discusses the previous one. Means why you have selected this particular topic. Behind that you have to express. You have to express the what are the main objectives for this section of this particular topic. Some brief introduction should be given for. That's in the 2 or 3 paragraphs. Means why you have selected the researcher has selected this particular topic. That should be expressed in the introduction part. Then the point out issue that are being addressed in the present work. Means how a particular the research article he has presented in a systematic manner. That should be explained in the introduction part. Okay. Now dear students, I think you understood that is how the introduction part is classified into main 3 sections. That is the first will be the general background of the topic. The other may be the what. In what way, what are going to give your explanation regarding the topic, regarding the background we have to explain here. Then the Second, the main point, we have to add the 2 or 3 paragraphs and discuss the previous work done by the researchers. That is why it's very important. The next will be the very important step, that is how the entire work the researcher has presented in a systematic way that should be addressed in the introduction part. Okay, the very important aspect of article is a review of literature. Very, very important here. Before going to that's startup of the writing, it's essential on the part of the researcher to go through with the review of literature already available to the topic. Here, the main purpose of a literature review is to gain an understanding of the existing research and debates relevant to a particular topic or area of the study, and to present that knowledge in the form of a written report. Okay. The next will be the very, very important, that is conducting a literature review helps the researcher to enrich the knowledge in the research field. To present the article in a systematic way, in an effective way, means the researcher should go through the various literature and he has to understand what are the depth of the topic, then what are the issues, what are the problems. That should be first of all the understood by the researcher. It will help you to frame the objectives, and it will be helpful to understand what is the gap, where I can start my research work. That can be decided by the researcher only with the help of the review of literature. Okay, then it will also helpful to gain the insight into how researcher apply the concepts to the real world problems. Okay, then it helps to understand the gaps of the study, which helps to frame the objectives of the research paper. In this way, the review of literature play a very, very important role in the article writing. Objectives of the study here. So very important, that is the how the researcher should frame the objectives. They should be concise as much as possible, and the key number of objectives should be limited, and they should be very specific, and the objective should be measurable, and very important aspect is they should be achievable. Okay, with the help of whatever the research is going to write in here, he wants to, based on the hypothesis testing, the objective should be very achievable. Okay, then I am giving you the important tips here, that is use the action words. The objective should be start with the to access, to determine, to calculate, to compare, to explain, to examine, to describe. The objective should be start with these words, very, very important, and they should be very realistic. And here, if possible, in the article when they publish, here the researcher should ask for the feedback. Means what? By this, they can improve the writing skills. Then the proofreading and review of the objectives is very, very essential while framing the objectives in the research articles. Then the methodology and the data, very, very important here. First of all, the researcher should understand which type of the research he is going to conduct. Then the data collection process, is it a primary data, secondary data, what are the important types of the data collection they have followed in the article, that should be mentioned very clearly. And the analysis, the data analysis process, how the data is collected, if it is in the primary data, what are the surveys conducted, pilot studies conducted, etc. They should be explained very clearly. And the secondary data is there. Second data means the data already published. That may be the government reports, annual reports, etc. The various reports which are already available in the form of the published data. They should be very clearly explained how they are collected and how they are followed in the research article. Then the the very important tool is the resources, materials, and the tools. What are the important resources of the articles you have mentioned, and how what are the important materials they have collected. Then what are the various important the statistical tools they have followed to write an article. This is what the very important the concept or under the research article, that is the methodology, and the data should be explained very clearly and very neatly. Then the next important part will be the results and discussion and the conclusions. It's very, very important. In this, we have to, that is the major findings of your study. The researcher has to, he has to explain what are the major findings of the study. Then meanwhile, he must try to give the meaning of those findings. Then how these findings should be related to the objectives, means how the objectives are explained and how they are achieved, that should be mentioned. Then the ethics should be followed in the research. Here we have to, the researcher has to accept the limitations of the findings. He has to explain what are the various limitations. Then based on the important findings, the suggestions, he must give the suggestions, and also we must give the suggestions for the further research. This is what the part, the results and discussion should consist. Okay. Then next will be the recommendations or the suggestions. Here the suggestion should be very precise and relevant based on the research. In general, recommendation should not be written. Means here the objectives are different, and you are writing somewhat the general recommendations. Means it's not the ethics, which is because should be for the ethics should be followed in the research. As we know that according to that, the suggestions or the recommendations should be realistic, and they're based on analysis and the interpretation of the data. They should be helpful to implement in decision making. Whatever may be the research article will select, some problems should be there. For that problems, according to that problems, the objective should be different, and that according to that objectives, some solutions we should get to solve that particular problem. This is what the main aim of writing any research article. Then we have to give the references. That is, there are the different styles we can follow: the AP, the MLA, the Chicago, and the Harvard, etc. The different types of styles are there. Just I given you some examples how they should be written also. In this way, the beautiful article can be written from the title to the references. For each and every step is very, very important. In brief, at the end, I will make the brief how how the important, the very effective and the very good article should be written from the selection of the topic. It should be very relevant to relevant. The topic should be useful to the decision making. That's a topic, that's a title. Then the abstract should be written very means very precise, very informative, and the keyword should be used. Then after that, we have to, that is, go through with the review of literature, which will help the researcher to understand the gaps. Then according to that, we have to frame based on the research gap, the researcher has to frame the objectives. Then after framing the objectives, there's a research methodology, the types of the data collection, and everything we have to explain in detail. The statistical tools which they are followed, what are the various tests they have applied, and how they are achieved. It's very, very important. Then we have to go through with the discussions, from the analysis part, any results discussions, and based on that we have to go for the important, that is suggestions and the recommendations. Then at the end we have to give some important, that's whatever may be the various articles you have followed, that's in the form of the references, citations. In this way, the article should be written, and the researcher, the basically he has to understand in detail how the whatever the steps to be followed to write a particular an effective research article. Dear students, if you have followed, if you understood my today's video, please share, like, and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.